in Ireland, no community knows the harshness of the Atlantic better than the people of the
Yeah.
Aran Islands. So a couple of those images that I had, there was one that kind of happened while we were out there, which was called the Bonfires of Arran.
Okay.
So I started having this communication with one of the ground crew.
Yeah.
And he was saying, this is, he's saying this is really taking off. Lots of people are following you. He said, particularly on the Aran Islands, and they're talking about lighting bonfires, and they want to know when you're coming, and that's still 1,000 miles away. I was like, well,
It's
they
like, give me a bit
can,
of
yeah,
time,
they
like.
can find out when I'm a mile away. Like, but then image started to kind of germinate, and I almost saw it a bit like, Lord of the Rings, where they light the prize and the fires on
Yeah.
top of the mountains. I kind of saw it like that in my mind, and I just it summoned something in me, like, because I started thinking about, like, nobody knows in Ireland, no community knows the harshness of the Atlantic better than the people of the
Yeah.
Aran Islands, so they can connect kind of what I'm doing. I don't know. I just grew this connection with the image, and imagining the people kind of, getting behind it, and even like talking about like getting the stuff for bonfires and where we're going to light them, and then so this was all in my head. And anytime I was like kind of having a shitty moment,
Yeah.
you just think about I just thought about that energy that those people were kind of going to be exhibiting and embodying, and it was just a state changer for me. It's like there was moments of absolute despair out there.
Just on something you said there, I think that's a lovely thing you said about the Aran Islands and that nobody knows the sea and the harshness of it more than those people. And it's so true. And also, it's something you actually touched on at the very start about the community, right?
Mm,
That's a community, and it is Galway, but those people don't actually know you. And
mm.
yet, there is a sense of community there. They're talking about it. They're trying to get the stuff together for the bonfire. I think that's very, very nice.
Tell you a story on
Go on.
that before we go any further. So the first bonfire I saw, and there's well, I would deem it an iconic moment for me
Yeah,
anyway, an
definitely.
iconic image of I have my fist up in the air, and in the background you can see this little bonfire on in the back of Inisheer, facing out to the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And that was the first one I saw, and it really like was a moment for me, like, because here finally were the bonfires of Arran, and I just started thinking, Jesus, somebody's gone out of their way. Like, there's not a house to be seen, right? So they've got all that material and brought it there, and lit it, and they could see the figure, and I could see there was a tricolor on a big
Wow.
stick, right? Um, that was October when I came in, and then about 2 months later, I was doing a show, talking about
Mm,
the experience in the Galmont, and a man in his 20s came up to me afterwards, and he said, "Jesus, that you wouldn't." And I talked about it in the show. I talked about this moment and what it meant to me
yeah.
and how incredible it was. And he said, the story you were telling there earlier, that was my dad who had the who."
Wow.
And he said, "And here he is."